Carlos Prates called out Jack Della Maddalena. Now, let me ask you something. Is it okay to call a guy out who's coming off a loss if that loss was for a title? Because Prates isn't the first one, by the way. He's not even the first one this week. He's number 2. Brendan Allen is putting a finger in the chest of Dricus Du Plessis. And he's being quite aggressive about it. And Brendan Allen is a guy, not for nothing, that we currently owe. Right? He's got the right to get something that he would like. All right. Yes. My answer is yes. I think it's okay to call a guy out at any time. I think that your job at all times is to get the biggest fight you can against the easiest opponent. I have no problem with that whatsoever. And people really don't know each other's records, by the way. They really don't. That's something that fighters, they get so close to the trees, they can't see the forest. I mean, I've seen fighters do interviews on themselves, and they say it like everybody should know. Well, obviously I shouldn't get this because I lost to so-and-so, but don't forget, I beat him, and he's 3, and he's 2, and these guys met, and this guy's mother likes him more than... It gets weird. I don't know very many people that had a longer career than I did. Had my first fight at 19. Had my last fight at 42. I do not say this to be funny in the least. I do not know what my record is. And by the way, if I did, that'd be a little bit weird. I believe I have fought 51 men. But I'm not certain without looking it up. So when guys know, it's just kind of a weird thing. And it's something that they get wrong. Now, I'm only sharing that. Prates wants to call out Jack. Call out a main eventer. Prates was on that same card. He fought earlier in the night than Jack did. That means Jack is a bigger star. The end. That's it. Rankings don't matter. That's in your guys' mind. What matters is the money. And the guy that fights 5th makes more money than the guy that fights 2nd. That's how it works. Belts do not matter as much as card placement. If you think that Kayla and Amanda are in a better spot because it's an undisputed title than Gaethje and Patty, you're wrong. They're not going to make as much money. They're not going to have as much fun. They're not going to have as many questions at the press conference. They're not going to have as many countdown shows. They're not going to see their face on as many billboards when they fly into town. I'm just sharing for you. So for Prates to go after Jack who's in a higher spot, right? You don't want to punch down. The president doesn't come after the governor. But I don't feel that Prates is punching down. He's going after a guy that when all things were equal and they were on the same card was above him. So I'm going to share that thought with you. And I think that carries over to Brendan Allen as well. There is nothing easy about Dricus Du Plessis. There is nothing fun about challenging or getting there with Dricus Du Plessis. Not to mention, that end of the pool is wide open. Whatever Dricus is going to do next, but Dricus, who's a master of the call-out himself, is not just going to let this go. Dricus isn't going to go and try to find a fight with Paulo Costa, for example, while Brendan Allen is sitting out there challenging him. We'll see what direction that all goes, but there's something to it. And one thing about Prates calling out Jack, if nobody else is calling out Jack because they see it the same way that many do, which is you don't call out a guy coming off of a loss, it makes that end of the pool wide open. Now, while I'm sitting here and I'm praising this, I got to tell you, if I have a magic wand, that's not the fight that I'm making. I haven't really ever found myself itching to see Prates versus Jack. I could be sold on it. There is something about that is kind of an anti-grappler 2 madmen cage fight. But it is a very interesting one. It is interesting that Prates is calling him out because Prates is on the very short list to be fighting next against Islam. In fact, if you look at the mandate of the masses, the people, you, are largely behind Prates. It gets a little complicated when you figure out, well, is Rakhmonov coming back? Where is Ian Garry? What's up with Kamaru Usman? Was a promise made to Morales? And that's a big one too, right there, if we're jumping around 170. There is no division that's more compelling right now than 170. But that is another one. There is a story that when Morales got done with his last fight at MSG against Leon Edwards, that he didn't take on Leon, he took on Sean Brady, that Dana said to him, "You're next." Now, Dana was on camera. I was there. I was watching. I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'll just share with you that I missed it. But it's a big deal, because if that statement was made, then we don't have a conversation here. Morales will be next. But I'm not sure that I'm not sure how that went. So, for Prates to want to get up there, and he wants to call out a guy higher up on the card with him, he wants to call out a guy that had the opportunity that he had, and Prates doesn't go after Islam. But Prates might be able to look at the board and say, listen, Islam's got a skill set that I don't have, or he's got a skill set that I'm not yet ready for, or he's got a skill set I don't know how I would do. So let me get a common opponent. Let me get a hold of Jack. Let me juxtapose his performance and my performance. There's something about that that's very interesting. There's something about that that is very mature. From a guy that will get drunk and smoke cigarettes, there's something about that that's very mature. I would like Prates, and if he sees this, Prates, please respond. I would like him to go a step further. Why? Why do you want Jack? Is it a name? Is it a ranking? Is it an elevation? Is it personal? Did something happen in the back? There's no wrong answer. I'm just curious what your answer is. Prates has called out Jack. Not an idea that any of the rest of us had. Not a fight that any of the rest of us were calling for. But why did he call him out? Prates, please respond. Why did you call him out?